Hello, good morning. This video is going to show you a little bit how to configure the SendGrid integration with coreBOS. Basically, see how it works and how the results get back into the system and the like. Okay. First step that we have to do is go to our SendGrid account, which I have here open in this tab, and configure the API key so that we can put that information into coreBOS and tell it to send through this account. Okay, so you have to create an account in SendGrid and get into the dashboard. Here we go over to settings over here, and in settings we have the API key section. I already created one here, which is the one I configured for the testing. We'll see how that works, but basically you click over here on the create API key. You have to give it full customize the level of access part your account excluding. Okay, with restricted access, you should have enough because basically it's just for notifications. And because basically we just want the alerts and the notification system working. I think the one I created was full access, but it's okay. You can create and view. Just do, okay, we have to give the API key a name. Test name. Yeah, we create view. And for security reasons, it gives you this API key, which you will only see once. You have to copy and paste that and save that somewhere. Cannot show you that. Okay, copied and done. And that would create a second API key for myself. This one here. And now I can just copy and use that API key where I need. I'm going to delete this one for security reasons, and we're going to use this one. Okay, so once you have that API key, you come over to your coreBOS. You go into the, see here how I'm going to change the URL. You go to the utilities module. You could obviously add that here in the menu editor and add this constantly, or is to access it if you want. It's something that you don't really access much, so I wouldn't really recommend having that in the menu. But anyway, as you can see here, we have different integration options. In this case, we're going to go to the SendGrid activation. And here you have to activate the integration. If it's not active, it will not work. You set up your username and password. And here is the two different parts. This is the important one. Actually, this username and password are not used anymore. That was before SendGrid changed some of their options. Now you can't use this anymore. So it's basically useless. The important one is this one, configuration of transaction email. You have to activate this one too. This one, as I said here, as indicated here, it substitutes the outgoing email server. That means that if I go over here to the CRM settings and in the outgoing server options, even though it will be configured and you are the application is actually able of sending through there, since this option is active, it will override that and send through the SendGrid system. You give it the SMTP SendGrid.net. If you have a private account on SendGrid, you can have your own URL. You don't have to use the SMTP SendGrid. Okay, and so that would change the username, and here you place the password, the API key that we just entered. With this, now what's going to happen is that instead of sending emails through the outgoing server, it's going to send them through SendGrid. And okay, let's see if we can find an account here. No emails. Okay, let's see if we can do contacts, probably better. Anyway, it would have worked with accounts also. Okay, here's one. I have one here with my email account. So let's use this one. This one is probably because I already used it for testing. Let's open the email tab and see what's there. Okay, there's a whole bunch of emails there with attachments and the like. Actually, there's 8, so let's send this user another email. And we're going to just put here Okay, not too much. Okay, let's just test email SendGrid, and we'll just paste that here. And that's going where it's supposed to go, and we send. Okay, that actually added here in the email section another email, which is 9. Okay, it's this first one. Notice that it hasn't been opened, it hasn't been clicked, it hasn't been bounced, it hasn't been unsubscribed, and the access count is 0. If I reload this, okay, let's see if we can open it. Okay, so it was sent. Also, if we go to the application and we go to the message module, I think it's messages. I should have a message here also for that one. Okay, no, that's for the workflows. The workflows also go through here. Okay, let's see if I receive that email. Yep, I have it here on my. Okay, now I'm gonna open this one. Okay, I opened the email on my Thunderbird. Let's reload this and see if it gets noticed. Okay. Notice here that we already have the delivered. It says that it has been delivered. Let's reload the dashboard here. Okay, dashboard hasn't updated yet. Activity. To just search. Okay, here's the email, the 4th of July at 9. Okay, opens and clicks delivered. Okay, it hasn't been opened yet. Okay, let's search again. Obviously, it takes a little bit of time to process all of it. So it says it hasn't been opened yet. Let's create another one anyway while we're waiting for that to kick in. Okay, let's wait for that. I'm going to send another one, another email. This time, we're going to add a test email SendGrid. Test email SendGrid with URL. And I'm going to put a URL here. Call to action. And this is a link to coreBOS.org. HTTPS. Accept. Okay, this is a link. And we're going to send this one. Okay, I received it. This is my inbox. This is the email. I'm going to put here that I want to show the remote contents. That is what one of the measures that SendGrid uses to know if the email has actually been opened or not. And here, if you can see down below on the status bar, you'll see that SendGrid has changed the URL to pass it through their system. So if I click here, it should open the coreBOS.org site, but first going through the SendGrid. Okay, so that works correctly. The thing is that now SendGrid knows that I clicked on that link, exactly that link. If there was 3 or 4 links in the email, it would know exactly which one. And that information is going back to coreBOS. Now I should know that it has been clicked. let's see. And if you do this through the email system, through the workflow system, it's even more powerful because it creates the message record for you where it saves even more information, and it launches workflows on the messages themselves so you can actually react depending on the URL that they clicked. You could send other emails or put them on a campaign, or just send somebody a warning or a notification that they were interested in something. You can do any kind of automation you want on those emails, which is very, very powerful. As you can see, SendGrid has notified us that they have both have been opened, and I guess in a moment or so we should have the clicked. Okay, see, now it knows that I clicked on this email. Okay, so very, very, very powerful and very easy. How do we get this feedback from SendGrid? Well, very easily. Basically, here, let's see if the dashboard has updated. No, not yet. Okay. That is to configure this. You go to settings, and in the alerts, no, in the mail settings section, we have various things that we can do. Copying the emails and forwarding spam and a whole bunch of stuff. The one we're interested in actually is the event notification. This is the one that will tell us that will push the events that happen on the email when it's delivered, it's bounced, when it's clicked, all that. It will send it back to your coreBOS. To do that, you configure here the post URL. You have to put your URL. In this case, I'm accessing this coreBOS install, which obviously has to be accessible from the internet so SendGrid can get to it. And then you have to put notifications, PHP type, SendGrid. Then here you activate the events you want to control. Okay, so for example, I have opened, clicked, unsubscribed, delivered, all of these things. That's the ones that I want to control. If you just want to control the clicked and don't want to have the opened, for example, and you just unmark them, uncheck them, and that's it. So basically, it's that easy. You'll configure the API key, configure that API key in the utilities integration section, and you come here and you put this URL so that the notifications can get back in. Basically, that's it. That's all you need to get this working. Like I said, workflow system is even more powerful because the workflow system actually uses the messages, which is, let's see if I can go back to that one. Messages, obviously attachments and all those things work, but if you have the message module, it actually can tell you you have all the events here, if it's clicked, if it's bounced, if it's dropped. And since this is a normal record, you can launch all the workflows. You have the last URL clicked here. So if we had done the same test I did through the workflow system, I would have had the exact URL here. So you can actually, if there's like 3 URLs in the email, you can define different workflows depending on the value there. And you have all the information of that. It's very, very, very powerful and very easy to install. And like I said in the blog post, it's actually much more powerful than a simple integration of events that you can do through MailChimp or HubSpot or whatever. This is actually plugging in the whole coreBOS knowledge and all the data, all the workflow, all the power that we have in the BPM processing of coreBOS into your inbox. It's incredibly powerful and incredibly easy to configure. Well, hope that helps. Have fun.